G'day guys, how we doing this evening? So we got a few in here already. Unpro, Ed, Grant, how we doing there guys? Yeah, same, nice and quiet. I was just having a few little connection issues, just standard out here. A bit windy and weather's crappy outside, so I've only got a mobile broadband router. It's not a WAN connected one, so whenever the weather's crappy outside, my connection goes shit house. Yeah, quite enjoying watching your little adventure lately, Ed. Actually, it's quite nice out that way. You know, it's been probably 8 years since I've been to Coober Beatty, but you know, I'd love to go out that way up the Ute and at a track like we did again. Awesome. Same as actually the other day, Steve, Unpro, I was watching your first trip in the Y62 you did out that way up near Gundabooka region. I was also watching Mud Duck's trip he did out there, and I think I'll have to add that to the list. It's only 5 or so hours, I think, from here, 5.5 hours. Oh dear. Alrighty guys, well, we don't actually have a lot of unique new questions this week. They're all very, very similar to last time, you know, the standard questions that I get asked. But anyway, we'll start off with the most recent question, and comes from an anonymous user that I will not reveal the name of. When are you going to do a better dish than Unpro Adventures? You know what? I wish. Something about Unpro, he just seems to come out on top every single cook up, and I don't know how much he's paying all you guys out there to vote for him, but I don't think that's possible at this stage. I don't think it's possible to come out on top of Unpro. Simpson Desert next year, Ed. Oh, I'll tell you what, mate. Absolutely awesome out there, you know. I really want to do the Frenchman's just across the Simpson Desert at some point in my life. You know, it's on the bucket list, that's for sure. I guess before we get into too many more of the questions, I actually wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the channel name. So we have actually decided to go full steam ahead with the channel name, changing over to Next Level Adventures. If you guys are wondering anything about why we chose that name, go check out the last live stream that I did. The replay is up on the channel, or you guys can chill around and wait for the official video that we'll do. So at the moment, we're pushing into the first week of November with backlog as Vikings 4x4. Sometime in the next week or two, we will officially change the name over. G'day Mick, how you doing there, mate? Yeah, sometime in the next week or two, we will officially change everything over. Upon that, though, we will actually be finally, I guess you would say, officially releasing a website as well, as I gave you guys a little sneak peek of that last week. I'll do a full update video, and all of the things that you see on that website will be officially for sale, and I suppose all of us should start plugging it a little bit more in the videos, because, you know, at the moment, all of the Vikings 4x4 shirts are made by a small business that's currently closed, and we'll be completely switching over with Next Level Adventures. We will be completely switching over to an e-commerce website that never shuts, and so we'll be able to have 24/7 access to all of our merchandise. Doesn't require any calls to be made, and the price is pretty much just as good as what we were already getting, and there's not much waiting involved either. So pretty keen on that, and I know the boys are really keen to get some fancy new shirts and stuff like that, because it's actually been quite difficult. I know I've actually promised a fair few people out there Vikings 4x4 shirts over the time, but it's been so difficult in the last 12 months to actually get any kind of stock in with the person that we were using, because obviously I wasn't ordering in large numbers and they were really used to catering for large numbers. So I think it's worth the switch over. I would never even see the products half the time. So yeah, that's right, mate. One more to go. Actually, one more to go to 900 subscribers. I mean, that's just crazy. I didn't think that I'd actually ever get this far, and I guess that is actually part of the reason for this little rebrand that that I'm going to be doing. Part of the reason is because, you know, like I said, never really envisioned to be getting this far. Rebranding is going to push us forward. It'll be like a new chapter, completely new. So, really excited about that. So, a few more of the questions that we have are actually related, I guess, more to the car this time around. Of course, I've got the standard, what tyre size are you running? So 285, 70, R17, they are Goodyear Wrangler Duratracs. The amount of people that even just in Facebook groups in the last 2 days that I have told the name and size of my tyre to, oh my goodness, probably 30 people, you know, so I mean, it's crazy. I guess it's not a tyre that you see on a Pajero very often, and I've got to say mine is actually substantially higher than a lot of other Pajeros that I've seen, you know. And next one, what did you do to put those drifter mud flaps on? So this is another one off of a Facebook group that I answer quite a lot. So I recently added some drifter mud flaps on the truck. So the reasoning behind that obviously is I like to have kind of like at least one sticker or a little bit of representation of all of the brands that I choose to run on the truck. I like for you to be able to see them a little bit, and so I thought instead of putting a drifter sticker on, I would get rid of the crappy looking stock Pajero mud flaps and put on some drifter ones. It's fairly simple. Just undid a couple of sockets on, like socket screws on the back of the old mud flap, and then I just drilled straight through the mud flap where the old holes were, because they didn't line up, because Mitsubishi are weird like that. They made the two holes, instead of making them flush and level, one was higher than the other, so I had to drill through the mud flap to screw them in, and I just leveled them out, lifted them up a little bit, and I think that they look good, yeah. What did I do to the rear tyre cover? I cut the bastard off. Yeah, it's as simple as that. It doesn't get much more simple. I just literally unclipped all of the wiring harness that is kind of tucked away in there, and then drilled through. There's a little headless screw, drilled straight through it, the whole thing come off, and then I just relocated the pre-existing wiring on top of the new number plate relocator, and put the reversing camera there. When is your first trip with Jake and Lockie? Okay, this one here is coming from Instagram, from Marine Battery Co. So they've obviously been paying attention. First trip with them two is coming up in December. We're actually planning a nice big 2-week trip that we are hoping now. I mean, it looks like we're going to get the green light for around New South Wales. The 2 weeks is the best case scenario. We are coming up with backup options in case we can't get out for that amount of time. So yeah, hoping that we can. Fingers are really crossed for this one. All right, just make sure the chat's still working and everything like that. So how are things going there, Mick, with the new channel running up? I noticed everyone who is here that is not currently subscribed over at Mick's 4Drive Touring New. Mick is moving over all of his content to his new channel. I know that I have a few subscribers that are also subscribed to Mick and may have missed the memo, so make sure you head over there, check that out. There will be over 100 videos released in the next 70 days, so that's bloody crazy. If you a lot of content being pushed there. So Another little one that we've got here, and this is an interesting question actually. If you could go anywhere overseas for a trip, where would it be? I mean, those of you who know me well know that I actually have never been overseas before, and it doesn't really interest me too well. However, I would love to head over to Canada, in the Canadian wilderness, somewhere like that, Vancouver Island or somewhere like that. Just experience that type of wilderness. That would be really awesome, I think. Hey Ray, how are you, mate? Hope things are going well for you. Good to see you again, as always, mate. That's another thing actually that I forgot to mention, that to you guys, when we obviously rebrand all these animations and things that you guys see in the background are all going to be changed as well. Yeah, Jake, that would be great. I reckon New Zealand. I mean, I feel like New Zealand is going to be, if anyone was going to go overseas in the near future from Australia, New Zealand will probably be the place that is most likely. I don't see too many other places becoming a reality anytime soon, even though apparently Qantas have confirmed December flight dates to the UK and Hawaii. Still not sure how that's going to go. It would be very, very interesting to see. So that's kind of all of the questions. I mean, there's not that many questions this week. It wasn't as much as of a response as I expected, actually. A lot of the questions are double ups. You know, I did have about 15 questions, but I've pretty much answered them all before. I get a lot of repeat questions on that. You know, things like rooftop tent, Drift of Wildlands, tires, awning. You know, all those type of things that are very easily answered by looking at a photo of the car or watching another live stream. So, oh, did we, Ed? That's that's good. I mean, I haven't actually checked since the live stream's gone up. I should be grateful for that. I actually, think, who was it that said to me? Mudduck actually said that once you are over a certain amount of subscribers, it actually stops telling you who subscribed to your channel. So, yes, Grant, I certainly have decided that we will be going forward with the name change to Next Level Adventures. We'll be changing over that probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks. I'm thinking that I think that we might wait a couple of weeks until this lockdown is lifted, and then we can all come together and do kind of like an introductory video, because I want to do it, make it like official video saying welcome to Next Level Adventures, and you know, have the video explain it, and then we'll change everything over on that date. Pajero Club Trip and Social, hello, how you going? It's good to see you on here, another fellow Pajero owner. Oh man, yeah, it's actually quite nerve-wracking, Grant, now that you mention it. You know, it is a big thing to kind of undertake a full name change, you know, and make sure everybody out there knows who you are still. Obviously, YouTube will tell everybody that is subscribed to me that I've updated my name. So that's a good thing, as long as people obviously pay attention to their notifications. And yeah, there you go. So YouTube stops notifying once you hit the 1,000 point. It is a shame, I would say, yeah, but you know, because I do quite enjoy seeing, you know, people subscribe and you know, their name pops up, stuff like that. It's cool. Adds a little bit of personal character to each one, you know. And to think that 900 people are actually subscribed. That's just crazy. I mean, you can fill a large hall with that many people, you know, to think that they've all sat down and enjoyed this content enough to hit the subscribe button. It has actually been a little bit of insight to the analytics lately. It has actually been a lot tougher in the last few weeks. You'd think that with people with more time on their hands would be watching more YouTube, but due to the fact that I can't get out and actually create adventure-related content like going out on trips and stuff, It's grown. It's still been growing, but very, very slowly. A lot slower than what it was when I was putting out adventure videos every week. Don't own a Pajero, got a Toyota. Well, still good enough, mate. You know, anything that has 4 wheels is good enough for you. That's the way to go, you know. As you've been seeing, Mick, I believe you're in that group chat on Facebook, the Australian Pajero group chat. Still only fairly new in there, but there's some great inspiration in there. I actually finally got to see, hear what the PPD 3-inch exhaust sounds like without it getting the guts revved out of it. So another little behind the scenes. Yeah, we've got so much on the way for the Pajero coming up. I mean, I am looking forward to having it finished so then I can update you guys with another episode of the build series. Tomorrow actually is the last day the car will not have a ginormous hole in the driver's side guard. Actually, I'm sending it off to ARB tomorrow to get a snorkel. Lucky for me, ARB is only 4 kilometers away, so that's all good and well. I can drop it off there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by lunchtime I'll be fully 5G compatible as well, getting my second dose tomorrow of Pfizer, and then I'll be able to use my 5G connection to get back to ARB and pick up the car with a nice snorkel on it. So, oh, Jake, jeez. Yeah, Mick, there's quite a lot of knowledgeable people on there, you know, and there's a lot of photos and stuff going up. I showed Unpro, Jake, I showed Unpro and Shad and Steve that sticker. Oh, that cracks me up. I don't think old Mud Duck got it, that little joke there, but we won't continue on with that. Yeah, Mick, you're absolutely right there. There's actually a video on upcoming from an adventure I did, gosh, probably 3 months ago now, to the Turon National Park, where I had to cross all the rivers. So there's like, obviously it's only the one river, but there's like 5 or 6 crossings throughout that day that I did. And it's good. I was absolutely shitting it. I wish that I had a snorkel then. Not that I'm too worried, because once you have a bow wave, obviously, like, you know, it's almost like an air bubble in there, but you just want to be safe, you know, especially with your air intake being where it is in the Pajero. Same with the intercooler down the front. I'm a little bit nervous on how it's gonna look. It's just one of those things that once you get it done, it's incredibly difficult to reverse, but I don't think I'll have any regrets going forward with a snorkel. Yeah, Grant, you're absolutely right there, mate. The Turon is only an hour away now from home. It's an hour down the Castlereagh Highway to Capeti, and then down in the back way there, so up a Turon Road down that way. Yeah, Mick, for sure. I mean, it depends. Sometimes the Barangaroo National Park is it's actually on the list. I've been meaning to head out there for a long time, actually, but I end up going back to Nunes instead. Yeah, Mick, definitely check your snorkel seals before we head out there. It depends on when the last big rain was. Stupid me, I seem to head out there just after it's rained, always, and so I end up there's a bit of mud and water everywhere, so it's pretty cool. The one thing that actually the only thing that I feel like I really need to invest in now is some diff breathers and secondary fuel filter. I don't think that I'll be putting my car into any extreme conditions where it might need it. I don't intend on going to Cape York or anything like that at any time soon, but I feel like it's a good security to have, especially maybe on this end of year trip that we'll be going on. We'll be going up through Turon River a few times, Barrington Tops, down on the beaches and stuff like that, so it'd be good to have it. A dual 5-inch stainless snorkel. I couldn't see it happening on Pro, actually. They charged me an extra $160 because the car has not door indicators, front guard indicators right in the spot where they needed to drill for the snorkel. So whoever designed, again, another annoying design about Mitsubishi, but well, what can you do about it? Yeah, Ed, I really want to get down to Victorian High Country. No, there's no catch can in it, I don't think. It's completely stock. Under the hood, there's been no modifications at all under there. Same as the day it rolled out the factory, so yeah, definitely need to get something like that under there. Obviously, while I'm chucking all this money at it, I might as well, you know, soon it'll be going in for the exhaust as well, and so I might as well just say, listen, chuck this in while you got it. So actually, Grant and Jake, you both own the same vehicle, so that's actually good, interesting. Diff breathers are a must-do, I think, for me next. I've just been watching a few videos lately of people clearing out their diffs and stuff like that after some trips, and I just sit there and think, look, I was in similar conditions to that, and, you know, looking at what's inside their diffs, it was just like, oh, you know, I should probably be investing in something like that. But it's definitely on the tables. It is costing a lot of money lately, but the way I look at this is that if I've got the opportunity to set the truck up now, and once I set the truck up, that should be it for the next 5 to 6 years, realistically speaking. Like, I don't know if any of you guys obviously follow Fire to Fork. You see the 10-year Tourer. Obviously, 10 years is a long time. I'm not pushing it that long, but I'd like to at least get a good 5 years out of the gear that I'm going to be putting on the truck now. I'm not sure, Mick. My front and rear of diffs are very, very high compared to the normal stock level Pajero. For some reason, like, my suspension lift is very, very high. I haven't seen many other Pajeros with a lift that sits like as high as mine is without spacers. Unsure why that is, but still, I feel like even though the truck is higher, I need to put diff breathers in it at some point and just get them way up out of the way at the highest point possible. Is probably definitely worth it. So give you guys as well a little bit of insight what's actually coming for the truck. You know, for those of you guys maybe who haven't seen the videos or I've been unclear. So coming up for the Pajero, all I'm waiting on right now to get this underway is one lockdown to finish, so I can go and visit Mud Ducks and we can get this dual battery system wired in. I'm waiting on the Enerdrive Australia 40 amp lithium battery charger that was supposed to come with the Enerdrive battery, so no dramas there. They did tell me that was going to be late September. I am waiting on another pull-out drawer from BCF, the XTM drawers. Those are the ones that I went with because of their length. So I'll have 2 XTM drawers on one side, and then I'll have the pull-out kitchen on the other side with the fridge. It's actually the same setup I found out recently as the Skid Factory Pajero. Almost identical setup, completely identical almost. The other thing that'll be coming along is the Ocam 4x4 steel roof rails to replace the plastic roof rails that are on there now. In doing this, I'll ensure that it can handle the weight of a Drifter Wildlands rooftop tent that's currently sitting right over there, waiting to be put on. So it's all waiting now on Ocam 4x4 to ship out their roof rails, which I'll give it, they were on back order when I ordered them, so it'll probably be a little while. They were supposed to be shipped on the 10th of this month. However, they've been delayed another 5 or 6 days or something like that until they should be getting shipped out tomorrow. So worst case scenario, if they keep taking their time and they delay it too much longer because it is taking its time, I will just simply put Rhino Pioneer roof rails on and do the same thing, make my own crossbars. Yeah, Mick, I reckon it's a good investment. Like I said, I mean, I'm kind of doing this in stages, I guess you'd say. I mean, it's very arguable the priority that I have put everything in, because, you know, some people would say the first thing they would do is put a catch can on it, but it's not the first thing I did. You know, I rather put everything else in, the drawers, batteries, rooftop tent, everything like that. Okay, yeah, people disagree, but it's not on purpose the way that I've done that. It's just kind of been a gradual thing, you know. It's come time to put it on there, so it's right. Yeah, great. It's a pain, you know. I've got the 100 amp hour Enerdrive lithium sitting over there. I'm super excited to try it out because I have never had a lithium before, and my old dual battery system was giving me strife. I'll also be upgrading the fridge to probably my Coolman 60 litre with the 15 amp hour lithium power pack on it. So yeah, and I'll be putting a 180 watt monocrystalline solar panel on top of the rooftop tent. So yeah, mate, this is really done its toll, this lockdown, on shipping dates for me as well. You know, I bought a lot of this gear together in bundles and things like that. And, you know, a perfect example is the battery. So I bought that in a bundle together, and then they sent the battery. That was here within 5 days, and it's been 3 weeks, and the charger has not anywhere to be seen as well. It doesn't help Australia Post stopped those orders for 4 days and created another huge backlog. But, you know, it is what it is. Eventually we'll get here. As long as it's here before December, that's fine. I am really, really fanging to get this rooftop tent on, though. I actually found out that my swag, one of the little things you put the pole into, has disappeared somewhere, so I've got to replace that. Hey Adam, how you doing, mate? Yeah, little Monday thing here just for the time being. We're just chilling, having some fun today. There weren't that many questions to be answered, so now just chilling, talking with the chat, talking about a few things that are upcoming, so that'd be good. Oh, also got a little bit of an update on our first post-lockdown trip for you guys as well. I'm not sure on you know, on any final details yet, but obviously we've got the big trip at the end of the year. But I'm talking about a first trip as soon as lockdown finishes. I'll probably be heading down and meeting up with Jared to spend a couple of days fishing in the Mooney Mooney area and Tuggerah Lake area. So that'd be good. Unfinalized yet though, but that'd be good. Hopefully, you know, I know there's been a couple of people who've been asking to see more fishing videos, and because obviously I live in the bush and I'm hopeless at freshwater fishing, so there'll be no point in me showing you that. But Windermere Dam is only, you know, 15 minutes away. If you guys are desperate for fishing clips, I can try my best. But Jared's definitely the fisherman in this one. I agree there, Mick. Everyone sort of has a different way of doing it. For me, there was never really an order, if you would say that. You know, like I said, I was gonna do this, and then this, and this. No, it's just think, oh, well, I wouldn't mind that, so let's get that. Or, oh, yeah, I think I need that. It's just been a plot along, build it up as you go kind of thing. And, you know, obviously those mods that I was talking about before are important, but you know, that they weren't a drop everything and do mod. Grant, no, I have not been out there yet. I have seen a couple of videos on it, and I'd love to. My biggest issue, actually, and it's still going to be a big issue, is due to the fact of my job, actually. I only get 1 day off a week. We close for 1 day, and being head chef, I can't really take too many days off. I could probably push it for 2 days a week sometimes. It definitely couldn't make it consistent. So some of these places that are a little bit further away are going to be harder for me to get to. I'm hoping with this setup that I'm going with now, that the quicker setup time is going to benefit me in that sense, because normally I'd have to get there, set up the swag, roll out everything, you know, like get everything set up properly. Now I should just be able to literally get out the car, pop the tent, and be ready for bed in 5 minutes. So I'm hoping that with a simpler setup, or quicker setup time, it allows me to spend more time on the road getting to some of these nicer places. So fingers crossed to head down to that region there. And you're dropping a cook-up vid tonight, Adam. I'll be sure to check that out, absolutely. I've got coming up on Friday, if I can get it finished in time, is Unpro and I's kebab cook-off, which is kind of interesting. The last couple of cook-offs that I did, I have not been able to use the pull-out camp kitchen like you would have seen in the initial few. That's obviously because I'm preparing the back well area now for new dual battery system, the lithium going in there. And I need the lockdown to be finished to fully finalize that. As I mentioned earlier, be heading out and meeting up with Mud Duck, and we'll be sorting some, well, at least that's the plan, that we'll be doing a kind of little collaboration video there. Mud Duck wants to wire it all up, so we'll be doing something in that department when the time comes. So yeah, I reckon, Grant, that I wish, mate. I tell you, Gordon Ramsay is actually one of my idols in the professional world, I guess, because professionally I do cook, and my professional self and the self that you see here on Vikings 4x4 is completely different. You know, it's very important to keep your work self and your home self different people, I would say. So in that sense, like keep it separate. That's just my personal opinion, though. I think that would be nice, Mick. Actually, my grandfather lives in Morisset, just there, Lake Macquarie Village, just not too far away from the entrance into the Wadigan Mountains. So, not a bad little thing, actually. The first time I went up there, I seen him leaving when I was driving past. So, I'd love to get in the back of Morisset there. Maybe he even might come. He owns a Triton, so I'm not sure if it would make it into the entrance. Same Adam here, mate. I have an old 110 amp hour AGM battery just over there, sitting in the corner, that is pretty much completely destroyed. You know, the depth of discharge, I let it discharge too long, and it's 8 years old or 9 years old now. So it's run its due course, and it can't really run anything anymore. So I thought I'm sick of having to fiddle with the fridge too much while I'm away. So if I'm gonna do it, I might as well upgrade now, spend the dollars on it, and just have it out of the way for the next 5 or 6 years at least with a lithium setup. Yeah, I've never actually been back in behind there. I don't think I have seen it, obviously, and I've heard the stories and stuff like that. But yeah, never been there myself. Yeah, I was just joking before we Triton weeded up. Yeah, he's it's a fairly old thing. You know, they're great nomads. They tow their van around. If they were half tech savvy, I'm sure it would make for a good series actually. But yeah, Adam, that's right. 900 subscribers. I'm incredibly grateful for that. Obviously, I mean, I'm kind of blown away that I guess to me we're in the final stretch to the 1,000. You know, I didn't think that this many people would be interested in what we're doing here, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. The boys are incredibly grateful for it, and we'll continue to push on. And actually, on that note of pushing forward, coming in the next couple of days should be the new GoPro Hero 10. And what I've been really pleased to find out about the GoPro Hero 10, grab you to the 9 over here real quick. So here's the 9, they are the same size, which means that the batteries are the same. So really excited that finally, after all these years, GoPro got the memo, and the Hero 9 batteries, which I've got 2 of, will fit in the Hero 10, and I got 2 more coming with the Hero 10. So that's great news. I won't have to buy additional chargers. The GoPro Media Mod may be able to transfer over onto that, so it's great news. I've also got some DSLRs that are kind of in the making that we're going to start doing some HD photography with. Jake loves photography and beach photography, all sorts of photography while we're out there, so we'll gear him up with some top of the line DSLRs, and Jake is going to be pretty much in charge of that side of things, you know, the things that I'm hopeless at, uploading to Instagram, uploading to TikTok, things like that. The only thing that I'm about consistent with is uploading to YouTube. That's pretty much it. Everything else I'm shocking, so yeah. Grant, yeah, you're right there with the Wadigans, that there's a lot of different little tracks that just go off. There's obviously the main tracks, which is when I went there last with Mick and Steve. We were sort of sticking to the main kind of areas, but there are a few tracks that just go off into the middle of the forest, and it's just interesting, you know, like you never know where you're going to end up or what you're going to come across. So, but I definitely did like it out there. I would go back there. The only thing that I didn't like about it was the first time I went there. The second time was great when I was with Mick and Steve, besides the drone falling out of the sky. But coming on to the first time I went there, I went down this track and the car got scratched to the absolute shit house. So that's the only thing that I didn't like about the first time I went to Wadigans. Yeah, that's right, Adam. Hero 10. I've only got 2 GoPros, so I've got the Hero 9, which is what I am sort of turning into the main camera. So, little side story on why I'm doing this. So, my Canon 70D, which is not in front of me anymore, it's down in the room, was my main camera. It's a DSLR. It fell into the Turon River a few months ago now, probably 2 months ago. And it's very, very dirty. So it still works. I was managed to save the camera with the old container full of oats trick. I was able to save the camera, but it needs to be professionally cleaned. And so after that moment, I thought it'd be a great idea to change over the main camera to the GoPro. Considering the Hero 10 was coming out soon, I can use this as my main camera with the media mod, and then have the Hero 10 with the better stabilization and better processing power as the action cam. So I guess that's what I'm doing now. We will obviously continue to use the DSLRs, but I will be using them more for their more for what they're better at, which is the photography side of things. And obviously, if we ever need to do some close-up HD shots, GoPros are not good at zooming in, as we know. They can be a little bit pixelated in low light conditions, so yeah. Yeah, that's right, Grant. Steve from Mud Ducks has like 300 GoPros. Yeah, Adam, Instagram is actually probably the hardest thing to keep up with. I don't take a lot of still photos while I'm out on trips, and that's why I'm really keen to have Jake and Lockie around a little bit more, especially out on the big trips, gear them up with the cameras, because I take a lot of video. That's my thing, obviously, because I put it all up on YouTube. I chucked it up. But I barely ever take still shots, so it'd be good to have them. And yes, at least I was at the Turon River. That video still isn't uploaded yet, but yeah, Grant, I do have an issue with that. Another reason why I am using the GoPro now is that you can hear the lens shutter with the shotgun mic on. I have 2 Canon 70Ds. And I have 2 GoPros now, so I have 2 DSLRs. So I did have a spare DSLR, but I only have 1 lens, and so the issue is obviously the lens is dirty from falling into the river, and my other Canon 70D doesn't connect to the battery pack quite well. So I could be middle of a shot and it could switch off unexpectedly, and that just is a bit annoying. So the upgrade is coming. We'll be adding 2 more Canon 6Ds to the fleet, which is going to be which is the model up from the 70D. So we're talking like probably almost $5,000 worth of camera equipment there, which is going to be great. They're going to be creating such great quality photos, and of course, if we need to create video with them, we will. I will probably be using them for The longer segments, for instance, if you guys have watched the Long by the Fire that I did with Mud Duck and Mick, those style of videos will still be filmed on a DSLR because the GoPro it's not great for that style of video. Where you're moving around and stuff like that, the GoPros are great because of the stabilization on them. But when you're just sitting still on a tripod for long periods of time, that's where the DSLRs come in handy. All in all, it's going to come down to space. If we're going on a bigger trip with the boys are involved and we've got multiple cars, obviously we'll be packing the DSLRs. But if I'm just by myself heading out solo, the GoPros are so much better for space. I can fit 2 of them in a tiny little bag, and that's my camera setup. So it's really going to depend on the situation. Yeah, you're right there, Adam. Once you finish the video, the last thing you want to do is stop and take some stills there. I 100% feel you there, mate, and that is the main reason I don't take a lot of them, and I mean, I've tried, I do, but I don't take as many as I'd like, and that's why it's good, I guess, when you have others. For me, having the video there is just as good as having a still, to be honest. When you're looking back on it, in that opinion, obviously it's nice to have still photos you can chuck up on the wall, but it's going to be good to have some of the boys getting on the cameras. Yeah. The Canon is actually not too bad at that, Grant. It will follow moving points of interest. You just have to tell it to. Like, for instance, if you're the moving point of interest, you need to, like, click on yourself kind of thing, and then it will focus on you. You can do that by flipping the screen the other way if you're by yourself. So, but I do like DSLRs, and I'll probably do a video on this at some point, comparing the DSLRs to the action cams that you would do, like GoPros and Sony action cams, stuff like that, and highlight what I'm moving towards and what I think. But I definitely am of the opinion that if you're a solo content creator and you're mainly filming action shots, for instance, river crossings, four-wheel driving, other stuff like that, the GoPros are really, really good because they don't take up much space. You can beat them around a little bit and they're not going to break. If you want that extremely crisp footage, obviously the DSLRs are the way to go. Even with the 5K at 112, 4K at 120 FPS on the new GoPro, still can't compare to a DSLR with a brilliant lens. The only advantage to the GoPro is that you can bash it around a little bit. At distance as well, GoPros are not good with distance. DSLRs obviously are. The only downside to the DSLRs, I feel, is they're not waterproof and they're bigger. They're a lot bigger. They take more to charge. GoPros, for me, really are the ultimate traveling camera, I guess you could say, if you're like me and you're just filming adventure videos. I'm kind of the same there, Mick. I love both of my DSLRs, don't get me wrong, and I'm about to buy 2 more DSLRs, so I obviously still see a need for them in my camera setup. However, they'll be for more the trips where I plan on taking photos and have more people around, so I can say, here, take photos, because I always forget. And they'll still be around for the bigger videos, for instance, if we do a big interview or something like that, I'll set a couple of them up and have them around. But other than that, most of the adventure videos will be filmed on the GoPros. All the cooking videos and stuff like that, I still see the DSLR coming into use there. Well, I think that we've actually had a pretty good run through here tonight. Even though we didn't have that many questions tonight, we've definitely had a good chat. I think that'll almost be time for me to call it quits for the night. We're at 45 minutes live. I mean, that's incredible. I'm absolutely happy to keep going longer, but I'm sure that everybody has things to do. Adam, most of my videos, the full driving ones that you see now, are with the GoPro 9. I think there's Hyper Smooth 4, and you would be so surprised how incredible this works. And to think that or Hypersmooth 3. I'm not sure. Whatever the GoPro 9 is, it works a treat. You know, Jared was running over some extreme rocks in Yulwal and at Nunes, and the camera is just flat as ever, and it's incredible, I think. But yeah, you're right. The person doesn't have to be holding the camera incredibly straight, but it does do the thing. I agree there, Grant. Lenses are the biggest thing not to compromise on. You know, the base camera itself, Canon 70D and the Canon 6D, are movie quality cameras. You can shoot cinematic film on those cameras, providing you have the right lens. You know, so many people are very quick to get the shits with their camera setup because they've got out and bought this U-Butte camera and they haven't bought a great lens. They've gone with a crappy quality lens, and you know, you're right. It is one of those things not to compromise on because the quality is obviously being compromised on. Then, you know, I was happy with my little wide angle lens for what I was doing. It wasn't 4K pristine quality or anything like that, but it was nice, you know, so it was good. It was on par with everything. Well, guys, I think that is going to do me for tonight. A few things to do around, so hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure you tune in on Wednesday to see. We're going to relive a couple of our old fishing adventures, just to give those who haven't seen a fishing video in a while some fishing to watch, as well as I'll probably reveal to you guys a couple of photos of the car with the snorkel on it, so looking forward to that. And then, of course, on Friday, Unpro and I going head-to-head with another cook-off, so looking forward to that. I should also let you know that Unpro did also win the pasta cook-off, so that puts Unpro 2-0 undefeated in the cook-offs, so absolutely on fire. Any gaming videos? I have not put up any gaming videos. No, I don't really play a lot of games anymore, Brain. I don't think that it's the right channel for that. If I was going to start doing stuff like that, I would definitely need to create a different style of channel. Sony ZV-1. Yes, that's the one that I believe that you just showed them before. Yeah, Unpro, that's going to be absolutely insane. I'm sure that we'll have to get out when we can so you can test it out. The cook-offs are rigged, yeah, I reckon. So Unpro's paying everyone to vote for him. Absolutely, yeah. Anyway, guys, that is going to do us for tonight. So stay tuned for Wednesday's live stream and Friday's video as always. And as always, we will see you in the next adventure.